Hello, everybody. Welcome to Tuesday with the Heart Girls. Here with Shauna, part one or part of the Heart Girls. I guess I'm not really part one. um, anyway, so I'm here by myself this weekend or this week. And I honestly, I'm just trying to collect myself. I'm running in because I had to go check on my chickens. It's super hot, um, in the high 90s. The sun is just cooking them. So I needed to go out there and give them fresh water. And one of them decided to, the one that's kind of the loner, she decided to jump out and run around. So I had to go get her. And she does not want to be touched. She does not want to be held. So she fights a little bit. But anyway, they are doing good and all's well. So this week, I was thinking about what to talk to you guys about, and I have been doing some new training specifically for coaching, and that was kind of on my mind. So I thought, you know what? Let's talk to all of our friends on Facebook and YouTube and wherever you're watching, and just talk about like, why would you need a coach? What is the power behind hiring a coach to do whatever it is that you're wanting to change? And so thought about like for me, um, because I think that one of the most powerful ways to tell somebody about what the power of something is through a an example. That's the word I'm looking for. And so have you ever hit like a wall where you knew something had to change, but you didn't know how to get there on your own? I have. I recently hired a health coach early on in the year because I was just feeling off. I'm at that age. Women go through a change called perimenopause, and I'm going through it. And so my energy was low, my hormones were off. They're just all over the place. Like some days I'd be really irritated, other days I would be bloated, other days I would be great. And I just knew I needed help. And within weeks, it wasn't just a couple of weeks, but within a number of weeks, I started to feel more like myself again. I had some more energy. I began to have a better mood and just really better quality of life. And here, on the back end of that, I've gone through a whole 4 month coaching process. I feel totally different. I feel more like myself. Um, and I just know that I had tried doing it by myself for the last several years. Once all of this kind of started, I, went to my doctor and got on hormones. But what I noticed is like there was a difference this time because there was a different kind of accountability where they weren't just looking at my labs, although that's what they were looking at as well, but they were looking at also a lot of other factors that I didn't even know to look at. And so having someone guide me, it it called me higher and it held me accountable to make all the difference. And I'm really grateful for having that coach. At the time, it was a lot of money to me. And I thought, oh, do I really need this coach? Can I try to do it by myself? I'm telling you, looking back, I would have never had the results that I have. And it's not just um, the reason why I went there, was the hormone balance and trying to figure out why my body would not um, really settle down, even though I was giving it what I thought it needed. But it was just a full overall health understanding of what my body needs and even with food. So it was just a really great process. And so, just like with me, I had blind spots. We all have blind spots, things that we can't see about ourselves. So there were some behaviors that I needed to change, some things that I wasn't even aware that were, causing health issues or the imbalance to happen. And a coach can help you grow further, faster, with less burnout and confusion. It's like having support on your journey for whatever it is that you're trying to do. And so you can look at a health coach, you could look at a personal trainer, you could look at a heart transformation coach, a business coach, you could look at somebody who's just simply there life coaching you. But coaches are trained to help you access parts of yourself you've been avoiding or you couldn't reach alone. And some of us don't even know they're there. And so it's not really something that we could do ourselves. It's like, if you want to really be able to move into a place of wholeness and success in life, it's always great to have another person's perspective, someone who doesn't have any skin in the game and they can really give you an objective view. And so you know, why wouldn't you want someone like that on your journey? You wouldn't try to perform surgery on yourself, even if you were a surgeon. Why would you try to heal your heart or rewire lifelong patterns alone? It just doesn't make sense. And I know some of us really struggle with letting people in. I was like that. I didn't want anyone to know I considered it garbage, all my stuff that I just didn't want people to know like what I was going through necessarily. Like I wanted to stay strong and appear to have it all together. But that only got me in a place where I was stuck and confused. And so hiring a coach really helps the process. So, what is a heart transformation coach? Since that's what I am. And I just want to introduce myself and let you know what we do. So, a heart transformation coach is someone who helps you uncover wounds and limiting beliefs. So many of us don't realize that we have core wounds, and they happened very young when we were little children. And we didn't actually have memory back then, or we weren't logging memory. So, we don't have access to that. But those created limiting beliefs in our life. And so, we live from those limiting beliefs today. And because we do that, we don't even know that they're limiting. Some of us may say, I don't feel like I can do XYZ, but a lot of them are just ingrained in us and they become part of our personality or even identity, and they're just not true. And so we help you uncover core wounds and limiting beliefs. And we also help you heal inner pain that's driving stress, insecurity, or avoidance. And we all have, most of us, maybe I shouldn't say all, I'll retract that. Most of us have places in us from these wounds that have created pain. And that pain drives us, at least our subconscious, to different things. We may have repeating behaviors that we do, or we may have an insecurity around certain types of people or in certain situations. Or we may just have learned to avoid our emotions at all, where we just kind of go through life not really having highs or lows, but staying just in the middle where we feel like it's comfortable. And that's all driven because of inner pain that maybe we haven't looked at, or it's just always been there. We don't even know that it's not supposed to be. And then we also help you reconnect with your heart, your identity, and your purpose. And reconnecting with your heart is really reconnecting with that space in you, that spiritual space in you where the kingdom is, where the Trinity is, where all your resources are, where all the power is within you. Connecting with that, maybe for the first time, and also helping you discover your true identity. Who are you made to be? Now, that's not a set in stone, you have to be this, but it gives you a space to understand some of the things that you do and some of the ways that you are, because it's linked to your identity. And then also your purpose. What is your purpose? What is it that you were called to release into this world? And so that's something that we help you find. We help you reconnect with that or find it for the first time. And then also rewire how you see yourself. And this is really powerful because so much of what stops us in our limiting beliefs is because of how we've been taught to look at ourselves. Maybe we've heard people say things about us, or um, call us certain things, or even limit us, or even call us to a place that we didn't know we were supposed to be. Like, if you were younger and your parents really felt like you needed to be a doctor or a lawyer, and so you moved in that space and you became that thing, but now you're unhappy because it's really not what you want to do. It's not who you see yourself as. And so, as we help you uncover these things, you begin to see yourself in the true aspect of who you are. That reconnecting with your heart, identity, and purpose helps you to see the truth about who you are. And the truth is amazing. You are phenomenal. And we help you to really discover that. And then we help you to really rewire how you see others and even God. So the way that we create our perspective of people and situations and even God is through interactions or experiences that we have prior. So when we're younger, we have experiences with others that when we make sense of that, we reason it out as little children, we make it make sense. And then that's how we then log into our brain, which is like a computer. So our mind logs into our brain how we are with people. So if people show up this way, this is how I act with them. If people show up this way, this is how I act with them. And your brain is just simply putting in the software so that you can show up in a place and automatically be what it is that you need to be in that situation. But that is not allowing you to really truly show up and be present. And so we help you really through all of the things of uncovering core wounds and limiting beliefs and the heal the inner pain that's driving all the stress and anxiety, reconnecting with your heart, identity, and purpose. And that helps you rewire how you see others and God because it's creating a new reality. Our reality that we're living in or that we are perceiving to be living in is created by our perspective. So, how we see life. You've heard us talk before that there is a part of the brain called the reticular activating system, RAS for short. And what it does is it acts as a filter. So there are, for instance, 40 million bits of information that are available every second that your body can pick up through all the senses. However, your brain cannot process that much information. So it funnels it down to what's important. So what do you value and what do you fear? And so in those two categories, it's logging what it needs to check. So there's so many things in every second that's happening in your life that you're not picking up on because your brain has been trained through a software that was created through our experiences that we didn't really have a say in because we were children. And so that's creating the filter that then decides what it is that you bring into your awareness, which is then creates your reality. Now, that may sound really confusing, but the simple terms is we create our own reality based on our perception, and our perception is based on that filter. So when we change those core wounds, right, we uncover them. So we're able to be more aware of them and we can heal them. And we're able to see the limiting beliefs and we're able to then reconnect with our heart, identity, and purpose in truth. Guess what? You're changing your reality. So it's a really powerful thing that happens in the process of working with a heart transformation coach. And I cannot stress it enough that it is something that everybody could benefit going through. And so remember, we're not a therapist and we're not just a life coach, although that is an aspect of what we do in our coaching process, but we're a guide into the emotional and spiritual root system of your life. And that's a really powerful thing to think about, going into the spiritual root system of your life and making sure that everything there is supposed to be there. Like we don't have any weeds that are growing that are something that we're believing that we shouldn't, and that we're able to see that we're actually choosing to believe these things. It's not just automatically programmed into us from childhood. And so when someone might want a heart transformation coach, it could be because, and this is often where we see our clients come to us, is when you're overwhelmed, but you don't know why. So there's not really anything in life or there's not a situation that's happening, but you just have this sense of overwhelm or stress or anxiety that's underlying that you really can't pinpoint. That's when you might want to come see us. Also, when your outside life looks fine, but your inner world is full of anxiety, guilt, or shutdown. So, this is when we show up and we let people believe that everything about us is good. So, we look good, we have, we're on time, like we're not showing that there's chaos in our life. And maybe there's not on the outside, but your inner world is just you're full of anxiety, guilt, or shutdown. There are things going on within you that you can't stop thinking about or you can't stop ruminating. And so when that happens, that's a good time for you to say there might be something going on underneath the surface that I might need to look at. So also when you keep repeating unhealthy patterns, like in relationships or even parenting or even work. So maybe you have a desire to change a pattern that's unhealthy, like always saying yes at work or always saying yes as a parent, or in relationships, having this constant role that you play that you know is not healthy. Maybe you're the rescuer, maybe you play the victim in the relationships, or maybe you feel just misunderstood in your relationship, but you don't know how to communicate that. And so maybe there ends up being more of like an argument instead of real communication. And you want to change that. That's a place where you could come and see us and we could help you work through all of those things that I talked about before. And when you've done all the things, like I said, I'd done all the things, I'd read the books, I'd prayed the prayers, I'd gone to counseling, I had done the research, I had gone to get the medication that I thought I needed. I had done so many things, but I still felt stuck in that place where I didn't feel like me. I felt like I was losing me. And that's when I decided to hire a coach. So if you feel done all the things, you've read the books, you've prayed the prayers, you've gone to counseling, you've talked to your pastors, you've gone through different classes, but you just feel stuck, that's when you might want to hire a heart transformation coach. And um, whenever you decide to do that and step into this place of being tired of just coping with life or just surviving barely or scraping by physically or emotionally and actually heal, that's when you're ready to really step into the coaching process. Because let me tell you, it's not easy to go through a coaching program. You're going to be challenged. Things are going to come up that you're not going to like, and you may want to hide because you're embarrassed of it, or things are going to, push you to the limits. But there's going to be so much success, so much victory, so many benefits that come through it. Because the first thing is you're not alone, and your heart begins to feel that it's safe to be seen, that it's safe to be known. And I'd have never met anybody who honestly could say, I don't want anyone to know me. The reason why they would say that is often because they believe that they're bad. But the truth is, our heart wants to be known truly for who it is, what it is, and be loved and appreciated and valued for that. And so that's everybody's desire. So some of the benefits of heart transformation coaching is freedom from the old stories and beliefs. That is right there enough to just say, sign me up. Because I don't know about you, I had a whole lot of old stories, a whole lot of words and sentences I spoke over myself that I never even thought that were old sentences and stories. It was just the way I self-talk. I had beliefs that, that I was less than other people, that I wouldn't be appreciated or liked for my ideas, or I was too much at times, and that I needed to shrink back. I had so many weird, old stories and beliefs that kept me limited. It kept me not knowing who I was and feeling like I needed to show up as someone else, which is what I did my whole life. I showed up as a chameleon. A chameleon can change their colors depending on what environment they're in. And that's exactly what I did. I was really good at reading situations and finding a place where I was needed or wanted. And I would do whatever it took, pretty much, to be a part of whatever it was that I wanted to be a part of. And I got so good at it, I lost myself. And the truth is, I probably never even knew myself, since that was something that started from very early on in childhood. The other thing that you're going to get is confidence to be authentic, to be your authentic self without guilt or fear. Now, that's a big one, because so many people are afraid to truly be them, to act silly when they feel like acting silly, or to say the thing that's on their mind, or to show up and be curious, whatever it is, because of feeling like they're too much or feeling like they're going to lose something. And so allowing you to have that confidence, giving you the space to get to know yourself and then begin to trust it, that it's enough, that it's special, that people are going to want you to be in their life once they see who you truly are. And it also helps for clear boundaries and emotional resilience. Listen, we all need to set boundaries in our life, and boundaries are not just here's the line, you stay over there and I'm over here. Well, that's part of it. But boundaries are also the way that I want to be. It kind of steps into that authentic self where you realize who you are and what you want and how you want to be. And then you let yourself do that without anyone being able to tell you you can't. And so it could be simply, my boundary is I don't lie. I'm honest with people. Or my boundary is that I'm not going to hide my emotions. So if I'm upset about something, I'm going to let you know that that's how I'm feeling. I want to be honest. Another boundary could be, I like to be in bed at a certain time. And if someone's doing something that's going to be past my bedtime, I get to decide if I want to break that boundary once or whatever. But I can also say, you know what? I want to be in bed at a certain time. So I think I'm going to stay home and not do that. And so that's a boundary. The other thing is, and this is a byproduct of it, it's not necessarily that you learn to do this, it just happens because of the other things that you're doing. And it's that you have better relationships. And that's because you're not operating from your wounds. You're actually operating from a place of victory and healing where you can truly show up and just be present instead of needing something from someone else, maybe pulling from them or requiring them to be a certain way around you. Because we're able to really show up and be givers and receivers as well in a way that's healthy. The other thing is you're going to find more peace, energy, and joy because your nervous system isn't always in fight or flight. And that's really powerful because some of us, like I was there for years, I lived in fight or flight. I could not figure out how to get out of it. And I could feel my body just like coming into it, like a deeper level. I could feel like the shock of cortisol going all through my body and putting me into a state where like parts of my body would shut down. Like when you're in fight or flight, your digestion isn't working right. You can't rest, you're fidgety. There's lots of situations that happen, but when you have more peace, energy, and joy, you're able to really stay present and enjoy life. And you obviously are going to get to have a deeper connection with yourself and with God. And so that's a really awesome, awesome thing. So transformation is possible for all of us. It doesn't happen by chance, it happens by choice. And so when you decide that you are going to make a change and then it happens, because with a guide who knows how to walk you through it, like you can make a change. You can decide today, I'm going to make a change. And you may stick with it for X number of days. But not having the accountability when life shows up, when it gets hard, when things are challenging, when people from the outside life are in, there's like stress or whatever. Because, I mean, you've heard this said, this is just a simple understanding that people, January, they make their New Year's resolutions, they jump into the gym or they jump on diets or they do these things that they want to do. They want to make these changes. And instead of sticking with it, they end up, canceling it or being done by, February, sometimes March. And so we don't stick with things when we don't have accountability. So if you are in a place where you're feeling like, hey, this sounds like me, and I know that I would benefit from it. Hey, jump on a call with me. It's super simple. You can just go to our website, theundividedheart.com. And at the top, it says get started. You'll go there. You'll click to have a free discovery call. No obligation, none at all. All you got to do is just sign up and then come and let us know where you're at. Let us know what you're thinking. What part of this video, what part of this talk really what was brought up for you? Where do you want to start? And then we can begin, if it's okay with you, by asking you some questions to get to know you better and to help you even decide what it is that you want to work on, or at least to start with. And then we can let you know what the investment is, let you know what we're looking at as far as time frame, as far as financial investment, so that you can see if this is a good fit for you. What I'll tell you is that everyone that's gone through our program, and that's been many, many people, have said that they are so grateful for the process. We've never had someone say, wow, that wasn't worth it. And if they had, we would have looked at that and found out why. But because people have gone through the program and it's been transformational for their life. I'm talking about better relationships, better understanding of themselves, better connection with God, better, some of them even financially successful through it, because everything changes in our life when we change from the inside out. So because survival isn't the goal, living is. Jump in today and see what we can do for you in our Stress Less, Live More program. I love you guys, and I hope you enjoyed my talk today. Hope it wasn't too heady, and definitely hope it wasn't pushy at all. I just wanted to share with you why I find the value personally for having a coach and why it would probably benefit you as well. So if you have any questions, sorry if I'm talking too fast. I'm about to run out of time. If you have any questions, you can leave them below in the comment section or email us at hello@theundividedheart.com, and I'd be happy to answer those. All right. Hope to see you guys on a discovery